Hey everyone, so I'm going to talk about who is so far my favourite operator, and that is Frost. So, I'm going to start by talking about Frost's weapons, because why the fuck not? For Frost weapon, it's hard to say what I think is actually better out of the Super 90 shotgun and whatever the hell the SMG is called, because that SMG is incredibly powerful with great range, great damage. Stick on the long barrel, stick on the red dot sight, and stick on the... Oh geez, what's the other attachment? Stick those on and it's got really nice accuracy, pretty good range, pretty incredible damage, get long shots, it's a really nice gun. But then the Super 90 shotgun, when I started using it, I was consistently getting double, triple kills, which is generally a very nice thing. Overall, I would say after using her for like, I don't know, a lot longer now, definitely say that the Super 90 shotgun is not as good as the SMG, but they're both incredibly good weapons. You don't have a choice of handguns, so you just use her as she is. Most importantly is her frost traps. We really need to get them down before the round starts. I'm sure that goes without saying. Because they take a bit of time in the animation stage. You can't really cancel it, or at least I don't know if you can cancel it. And if you can, you probably won't be able to raise your gun in time to shoot anyone. Sometimes if the drone sees you putting it down, you probably should pick it up and move it. But unless you're playing competitive, which I've only started doing recently, generally, most people aren't necessarily smart enough to or care enough to avoid them, or there's just lack of team communication. Of course, playing in competitive or playing with a team who's actually communicating, it could be a whole different story. Generally, the strategy of putting it behind a barricade is a decent enough idea, except it only works pretty much with people who are looking. As soon as someone knows that strategy, or especially if you try to use it in competitive, it will pretty much never work. Putting it underneath hatches is a great idea if they're not reinforced, and if they are reinforced, and you're confident the enemy team will have a Hibana or a Thermite, then it's even better idea. Both the shield and the barbed wire are good ideas for her. Usually I use the barbed wire in order to make it look like I'm hiding the welcome mat, but I actually put the welcome mat a bit to the left of it. Putting it behind corners is a great idea. Putting it when you go into the room, not immediately in front of the doorway, but actually just to the side of the doorway. That works perfectly because they're not necessarily seeing it. Welcome mats typically work when you're towards the end of the game and someone's kind of rushed and not focusing. Of course, there are good positions which will always get people out, or not always. Putting on the window was always popular, although I've never really liked the idea, and it's definitely good. Mostly, you need to go for semi-random locations with frost traps. That will make them the most effective. You need to do this, what I mean, is to put them somewhere far enough away from the objective that they're not going to be scanning the floor looking for them, but close enough and in a relevant enough place to actually fall for it. A good example of this is in the basement of the yacht, when there's a lot of corridors. I put a frost trap around the corridor quite far away and away from the objective, and I got the final kill with it. Another good place to put them is in places where they're completely littered with objects and aesthetics. For instance, there's a hallway in the cafe, in the Christmas cafe place, that has so much junk on the floor that it's hard to necessarily notice the frost trap because you've seen all the other junk. Well, that's all I had to say about Frost. Hopefully you enjoyed the video, and hopefully I didn't go too longer than I wanted to.
Shut that window, God's sakes.
You alive?
Yeah.
There's one near me. That's not it.
You are clear. Hostiles, fall back.
Okay, get close to my left. Or my front. Then I can't go in.
There's one near me. To my left.
To my left.
Op 4, last
Operator standing.
Dead. I think there's someone in that room ahead of you. Instead of window game smash.
Is that you walking?
Op 4 eliminated.
Oh,
Mission
yeah.
successful.
Like it's all dramatic and then just just full aiming as well. Nice, 4 people in it. Pretty obvious. I know, right? Well, that was easy.